Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bay Area Content Marketing Meetup. We are talking a lot about AI these days, and we have one of our most popular presenters on AI joining us today, Rosemary. This might be her 6th or 7th, I lost count, talks on AI. Ever since ChatGPT first came out, Rosemary was early and helped show us what she's been doing. A little bit of background about Rosemary. She's president of To The Web, a Vancouver-based AI consultancy. Her company offers training and consulting to ensure teams succeed with AI adoption. And with that, we have a 30-minute session today. So Rosemary, take it away.
Thank you very much. And thanks, Dennis. And I am delighted that you are all here. Thanks very much. I know that you're juggling busy schedules. I'm now reducing the presentation to 30-minute sessions. And we're going to explore some great summarization techniques that I know are going to save you some amazing amounts of time. I mentioned we're going to shorten these to 30 minutes. So if you have topics like, summarization or brainstorming or whatever, please put them in the chat and I can consider them for the next one. And Dennis has already introduced me. So this is just a very short list of best use cases for summarization. I use almost all of these, and you'll have this deck when I'm finished, and you'll be able to come back here and consider other uses for summarization. And I got really excited about summarization like early last year when I heard Sam Altman from OpenAI say that it was one of his best features of AI. So let's take a look and see what we can do. So the first thing, and this is the question I get all the time, is can you organize your Gmail inbox? And there currently is no way to do that. Gemini has really limited AI functionality right now. The only thing that you can do with it, if you're paying the $10 a month, is there's a little AI icon over here, and you can do things like summarize an email thread, draft an email, find some information from previous emails, but it's pretty limited at this time. I have been recording Zoom meetings and other types of meetings for the last year, and I find that these note takers are so useful, and I keep going back to meetings and looking at to-dos and things that people asked of me. And one of my favorite tools is called Fathom. And I'm going to show you what it looks like in just a sec, but you're going to see in this presentation, I'm going to show you the workflow of how these different tools work. But let's just go to this sample and you can see what it looks like. So this was a 37-minute meeting that I had. It gives me the actual transcript and the image, and it also gives me things like the key takeaways, the purpose of the meeting. It has generated all of this from reading the transcript, which is available here. You can see it's pretty extensive. The nice thing here is that you can then go in and look at what the next steps are. Over on the right-hand side, you can do things like share this with other people. You can see within Fathom, when you are recording a meeting, you can highlight different pieces of text, and you can then come back and look at that at a later time. So it's one of my favorite ones. I will probably try Read AI next time, only because I prefer black text on white backgrounds. I find it easier to read. In June, Zoom came out with an AI companion. It's not bad. I'm just used to Fathom. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat or put your hand up if you want to ask me a question. So this is awesome. I'm going to show you how we can take a search engine results page and get some great data from it. So in this case, I asked Google I asked it, what is AI search optimization and why is it important? I was looking to get two answers. One, I wanted to know the primary topics that were discussed in the results and list the terms in priority. The second question was, what keywords are these results ranking for? And this is what it looks like. So the way you do this is you go and you run your search in Google. I have mine set, displays, I think, 100 results. You just do an edit copy, and you're going to copy that. You can see here's the beginning of the search results for that prompt. I have written my prompt here telling the AI what I want it to do. So it now has all this information, and it's based on the information it sees in the search engine results page. It's going to give me, let me scroll down here, a lot of information. It's going to tell me the primary topics. It's going to tell me the URLs that were mentioned, that were mentioning this. When I ask my follow-up question, it's going to also give me the terms and who was using these. So you can see that you can then get in a back and forth discussion if there's other things you wanted to pull out of the SERPs. Any questions? Okay. Summarizing YouTube videos. Well, I know that we all have these 60-minute webinars that we wish we had time to attend, but we can't. And 60 minutes is a lot of time to invest if it's not going to be great. So what I often do is I use Note GPT and I get it to summarize the information. And so the first way that I do that, I do it in two different ways. Can you please mute yourself with the dog? That'd be great. Thank you. Okay, let me just show you an example. So this is one way to do this. And it's going to create, first, it has the transcript already, but then it's going to give you a summary. Let's see, I was already logged in here. Okay. All right, let's try that again. All right, now it's giving me my summary based on the 60-minute transcript. It takes a few minutes for this to start rolling. So now you can use this to promote this webinar or just to look at this content and decide if you want to spend the time listening to this webinar. Another really cool thing that you can do with this is to make a mind map. And I'm actually just going to show you what that looks like because it can take some time to draw. So it can go in and create what it calls a mind map, and it's going to take a video and it's going to break it down into different pieces. So this was a short video, but this just gives you an idea. I'm not sure how I would actually use this. It might be a nice visual in social to do that. Oh, here it is. Here you can now see it. And of course, you can chat with it and translate. You can also use this natively in YouTube. Let me just show you how that works. So over here, you have the same functionality here. This is done through a Chrome extension. The only problem with having the Chrome extension enabled is that it produces this this little pop-up that's really annoying. So I don't usually leave it on, and but if it doesn't bother you, that's fine. Oh, let's see. Yeah. If you'd like to be perceived as a thought leader, these are some techniques that help you drive that initiative within your company. And so I'm going to show you two different ways to summarize top emerging trends. So here I'm asking it to summarize online industry reports. I'm not telling it which ones to do. I'm going to give it the topic, and it's going to go out and do that for me. So this, when you get the presentation, you can click on these links and you can see what my prompt looked like. You can see my prompts are really detailed. That's generally the best way to get a good output. And so what it's done here is it's now giving me upcoming trends in the marketing industry. I've asked it to do it, put it into summary tables, give me the top emerging trends. And future outlook. And then always, because I have my custom instructions do this, I want the follow-up questions to be here so that I continue to engage the AI in discussion. The next way to do this is to actually upload a lot of documents. You can upload about 10 documents. So in this case, I uploaded whatever number that is, and I asked the AI to analyze these documents, and basically I asked it to do the same thing as I did when it was just searching the web for the information. So now you have two different ways to get emerging trends and information, which is great for writing stories about. We had one question where I was being asked by an attendee to talk about data and how to use summarization for data. And let me just tell you that it is absolutely awesome in analyzing data. So I'm going to show you this file. This is not a large file. I have done summarization where we've had 30,000 rows of data. This is only 700. This is looking at student placement data post-graduation. And I wanted to know specifically how gender played a role in placement and salary. I asked it to give me charts and tell me how the GPA affected placement. So it gave me back a table. It gave me back multiple tables, but this is just a screenshot of one of them. It also gave me back charts. And this is a great way to take your data and make it more useful. And there's a couple of different ways to do this. You can either ask the AI a very detailed prompt about what you want to get out of your data, or you can just start by saying what trends exist in this data. That's often a good place to start. And then you can start drilling down into what kind of data. And if you want to start playing around with large data sets, you can go to kaggle.com and you can download data sets from there. Another awesome thing for us consultants to use summarization for is in contract review. This is just like one way to speed the sales negotiation process. And what I did here was I took terms and conditions that were provided, and I asked it to analyze the contract and identify potential issues or concerns. I asked it after each point to draft my response, and then to follow up with an email to the prospective customer. And, like instantly, I have the email already drafted in a really nice way, if you were able to read this. And of course, it called out each issue so that I could decide whether it was important. Of course, you can also upload one of your approved terms and conditions and ask for how it changed from there. Okay, so this is something I'm working on right now, and it's lots of fun for me. And it's doing synthetic profiles. And so the AI can create detailed personas based on an analysis of customer data, and industry trends. And while these are synthetic personas that are artificially created, they are based on informed by real data. So in this case, I uploaded lead data, and it went out and it looked at market research data, customer behavior analytics, demographic and industry trends and statistics. It looked at real user profiles that it anonymized and social media insights. And it returned profiles similar to this that allowed me to understand what their buying process was and the type of email I might send to them. So in this example, I just highlighted the budget authority that this persona is able to authorize. And it got that data from industry reports of typical IT budgets for fintech startups, public financial data of companies in the same sector, surveys and market research of CTO spending patterns, and so on. And there's a lot of great applications for this: lead scoring, market segmentation, sales prep. So this is like a real fun thing to get started and try, especially if you're going to do a lead nurturing program. And that's what I'm doing here. Know your competition. So we built this GPT that allows you to better understand your competitors and yourself compared against those competitors. And I'm going to let you see how this works. So this is the output of my competitor review GPT. And what I did was I only gave it 3 companies. If you're going to do this, just a couple things to know. I have found that the GPT works best when it's 4 or less companies. It's a great idea to do yourself and your company and 3 other competitors. Sometimes the GPT just stops. And in that case, you just say continue, or you haven't gone through all the steps. There's a lot of steps here that I've asked it to follow, but it gives a fantastic bit of information about your competitors' customers and awards and financial performance, events, and so on. And then I have one also for your own market. So for this one, you do have to give it some information. We've used Tom Trainer's company, and we gave it a little bit of information about what his company does. And it's come back with a market overview and trends analysis of his industry. And when you get this presentation, you just have to click here and you can run your own GPT, your own analysis using this tool. Questions?
Yeah,
All
Rosemary,
right.
There's 2 questions in the chat. Do you want me to ask them now, or
Yes.
do you want? Yes. Okay. Matt was asking, when you were showing the interpretation of the data, he's asking, what's the best model for doing charts and graphs? This has been a black hole.
What were those last words you just said?
He says it's a black hole as far as doing charts and graphs.
Well, it can do the charts. I've seen fine output in the charts. There's one phrase that you'll see that I've added to my data requests. You'll see it's about n-grams, and that was given to me by a data scientist to include in any data analysis that I do. You'll see that in the prompt when you link through. Next question.
Matt, was there anything you wanted to ask additionally?
No, thanks, Dennis.
Okay. The other question was, when you were showing that interesting review of the AI analyzing the contract to draw out any concerns, I think the question was at that time, how do you know it isn't giving you incorrect responses, like on the legal interpretation?
Well, you don't know for sure.
Okay.
But you have to have human review, right? So, yeah. I mean, this is your first step before having to go to a lawyer, right?
Okay.
All right. So competitor analysis using Perplexity is really great. I use it all the time. The paid model is better because you get more information. In this case, I'm asking what are the most important capabilities and considerations we should know about Marqeta's card issuing platform. Give me the top stories in the past 6 months. So this is another great way to summarize news stories, either for your own website or if you're following your competitors. And competitor content. So summarize your competitors' content and it can analyze and identify gaps in your strategy. So I'm going to show you the full prompt here. What I'm asking the GPT to do is evaluate the marketing strategy of the following product pages and identify content gaps. So the first step was to gather the URLs from the competitor pages that I wanted to analyze, and then also from our own website so that we had a comparison. And then it's going to go through, it's going to evaluate the competitor pages, your own pages. It's going to then come out and give you the messaging and value proposition. It's going to tell you, I think the best thing is down here. Here's where your content gaps and opportunities are. So doing this for your competitors' pages against your own is a really great way to see how you might want to change your own content. Claude's really great for analyzing client information, for example. So in this case, we knew that our client was mentioned in this 29-page Gartner report. And what we really wanted to do was really to ask, let's see, how can we use this sales tool to equip our sales with more tailored pitches? So it went through this document and it gave me information to pass on to sales. You can also do multiple documents at the same time across all these engines. Each of them have different limitations, not only in the number of files you can upload, but in the types of files they will accept. So that'll sort of determine which one you can use. My favorite engine, AI engine for the output that it gives is Claude because it's not as verbose as ChatGPT. And this is simply where you start. We built this, everybody knows that AI search optimization is coming. We're going to start losing search traffic over the next few years to the AI models. So we built this FAQ schemas to help you quickly create schema. The way you would use this is, I took this document, this blog post that I just wrote on AI search optimization, and I asked the AI to give me the top 5 questions answered by the blog post. And this allowed me then to go to my AI tool, and after evaluating these tools or these questions and answers, to enter them in here and then copy that and drop it into my HTML. Audio to text, Happy Scribe. There's lots of different tools that do this. I like Happy Scribe because it gives me an option to have a human review. And so this is the way it looks. Let's just see.
Spread the work out a little like this.
So actually, if you've never seen this wonderful and hilarious
Maybe those papers.
Tim Urban procrastination video on TED, you have to watch it. It's hilarious. So Happy Scribe's a great alternative. You don't have to have a monthly subscription. You can just pay as you go. There's other options as well. Text to speech, 11 Labs is what I've been using. You can also use Otter. Take your podcasts and summarize them. Image summarization. Okay. I'm sure some of you are already doing this, but often I'll have an image that I want to extract all the text from. I can simply upload this to ChatGPT and ask it to extract the text, and it does that. And we have just a couple minutes left, so let's see. I'm giving you more summarization ideas, and I just want to ask if there's any other questions that I haven't seen. I see 13 messages. Dennis,
I had a question. I thought I'm going to ask you a question I think some might be wondering about. It's the question about paid, free versus paid. So I know you showed a lot of the well-known tools and you showed some new ones that I hadn't heard of. How should, and I'm assuming a lot of the ones you're using, you're paying for, but how should folks be thinking about like spending some of their personal budget towards some of these tools from a paid point of view?
Well, it sort of depends on what your needs are, right? So here's what I pay for. I pay for ChatGPT, both a Plus account and a Teams account. I have to do that because you can't share URLs from Teams. Hopefully they will change that in the future. I also pay for a pro membership for Claude, which gives me, I think it's 200 chats, I'm not positive. And I also pay for Perplexity. It gives me more results. So those are the primary every month that I pay for. And then I use these other tools as I need them. Dennis, did you have some other specific questions?
There's nothing else in the chat, so continue.
Okay, well, I said AI summarization in 30 minutes, so I was going to try to keep to that, but I'm happy if people have any other questions that I would be happy to answer them. And if there aren't, then we will see you next time. Oh, let's see.
No, there is one that's in here from Rebecca. Let me see. Let's see. Rebecca asks, I have a business idea. Hold on, let me make sure I can read this whole thing. I have a business idea and would like to research what similar products are already in the market. I also wanted to decide if my idea is potentially viable. So the questions are, would I use competitor analysis? Next question is, should I start by describing my business idea to Gen AI before searching? What recommendations might you have to get me started in my research?
So I would first start by telling the GPT what your idea was, and then I would ask it to give you information about how viable, what other close products are on the market that are similar. It's really good at doing things like that. And I just wanted to pull up something on another screen. So I'm not sure if you know who Ethan Mollick is, but he says that GPT-4 generates startup ideas that are that outside judges find to be better than those of trained business school students. So we know just from listening to that it's going to be good at evaluating your startup idea to see if it's actually got legs. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to get into a dialogue back and forth with the AI. And then go into things like use the competitor research GPT we created and the market analysis ones. I think, Brian Piper, didn't you also create some GPTs that do that? Okay, I guess
yes, we did.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, we do. We have some GPTs that look, actually, we've created some persona.
Club now playing.
We have some persona GPTs that we ask the personas to do competitive analysis by looking at other websites and giving us their feedback from their perspective of what they like and don't like.
And just before we jump off here, I wrote this like very, very long blog post on AI search optimization. So take a look at that. Also, if you're a Stanford alumni, I'm going to be speaking there next month. It's only open to Stanford alumni. And then at the end, they've got some other things that you might be interested here. All right. Well, thanks,
Wait,
everybody.
there's one more question, Rosemary.
Okay.
So it's a question from Kristen. Kristen, do you want me to read it, your question, or do you want to come off mute?
Oh, I get happy to come off mute here. I
Excellent.
mean, Rosemary, my question is ultimately like, everything you shared is fantastic. And I almost feel like it's too good to be true. Like the results, like this just feels magical. And so I know we need to verify the answers the AIs are giving us, but what lens should we be bringing to that first reading? Should we be assuming that the answers are good-ish, or should we be more skeptical as we think about these replies and always assume that there might be something a little goofy about them, so not to trust it? I'm just not sure what lens to bring to that first output of from the AI tools.
Sure, and that's a great question. And I think the best way to think about this is a first draft. It needs, for important things especially, it needs you to really assess the response, like in the terms and conditions, and see if that makes sense, right? And the better you get at writing great prompts, the better your output is going to be. The more information you give to the AI, whether it's in examples, whatever it is, you will get better output. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yeah, no, that's helpful. Thank you.
And yeah.
Go ahead, Rosemary.
I think you have to start using this like all the time, like 10 times a day, just to start feeling what the outputs are like and how you change how you ask the AI to do things for you. And then you'll start to see, I think, better results over time. And also the AIs are getting smarter all the time, right? I mean, the pace of change is incredible here.
So I have a story that I find kind of funny. Sometimes people don't find my stories as funny as I do, but I was driving when I did the drive from California to Chicago, where I was in the car, obviously in the car with my wife and dog. And I was geeking out over the concept of, as you're going across Highway 80, when is a point where we change time zones? And even though I was driving, I asked my wife, like, you should look at the clock and see when the time skips ahead. So I was having her ask ChatGPT, like, what were some of the route cities along Highway 80 where it changes? And I had done some research the night before, and ChatGPT gave the answer to my wife. And I think it got some of the cities wrong. Like it was already past where the time zone changed. So I say to my wife, I think ChatGPT is wrong. So she types in, my husband thinks you're wrong, to ChatGPT. And then it's like, oh, it says like, on second thought, I didn't get my facts right. And then it like corrected itself. So I thought that was so funny about like having to correct the basic fact.
So let me just tell you things. You know, the AI, even though they're getting smarter all the time, they don't have all the information. Like here's a question: what was the last presidential assassination attempt? And it's not going to tell you that it was just a couple of weeks ago, right? And you can run that same prompt in ChatGPT, and if it doesn't go out to search the web, then it also got it wrong. So it obviously doesn't have all the answers, and that's why you have to spend some time. Oh, okay. So it's so see here where it says searched one site. So it's used Bing. If it hadn't used Bing, I can tell you it gets it wrong. Okay, and then just Dennis, in the light of telling funny stories. So I used character AI to clone my voice. So I uploaded a 15-second clone of my voice, and then I read text into it. So it then gave me back my text that I'd written in my voice. And guess what? My husband could not detect that it was not me.
Oh my God. Pretty crazy.
I'm sorry, but are you not scared to have that out there?
Well, it's already out there in all the videos I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
So just one last note, Rich did post a link to the slides. I will also post it on the meetup page if you are not able to grab it from the Zoom chat. And I also posted the blog post that Rosemary mentioned. I posted that in the chat, but I'll also post that on our meetup page.
Excellent. Well, thanks
Rosemary,
everybody.
thanks for joining us, Rosemary.
Okay, bye.
Take care,
you.
everyone.